Hey guys, and welcome back to Pro Speed Baseball. Now, the rollover seems to be one of the most frustrating things we can do when we're hitting. We see a pitch or we get out in front of one, we roll it over. Well, in today's video, we're going to bust the myth of the rollover and show you guys how exactly this could be holding you back for speed. So one thing I want to ask you guys here is that if this ball's here, and you can see here I rolled my wrist all the way over, how did that ball go right back through the middle of the field? Well, that's what we're going to bust today. Let's go ahead and get started. Now in the Pro Speed hitting system, when we talk about releasing the bat, we talk about from the max lag position, unhinging the wrist and rolling over. Now we've recently received quite a few questions about how these wrists roll over, and won't this cause us to roll over the ball and just pull it to our pull side for those weak little terrible rollovers that we all hate. Well, the first thing we need to do is define what exactly is a rollover. What's going on, what actually happens mechanically, and what's actually happening at contact to cause a rollover. Well, let's look at the first piece of it. If I roll over this ball, which that would be a rollover, where we hit a little weak grounder to our pull side, well, the ball was hit weakly on the ground to our pull side. What causes that? Well, first and foremost, hitting the top part of the ball to get the ball on the ground. The second part being more out in front. If you guys remember from the swing circle video, the further out in front we hit it, the more of a chance we have to hit it to our pull side. Now, if we understand those variables, that if we're hitting the ball out in front and we're hitting the top of the ball, what does that have to do with our wrist? Well, the answer is absolutely nothing. The rollover has nothing to do with the rolling over of the wrist. So in that release, we unhinge and roll over. That's how we can get a lot of speed. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are going to get a lot more speed by letting those hands naturally turn over in your swing versus trying to hold on to lag or trying to spin the body into the ball. We're going to be able to get a lot more speed by rolling them over. But now that we can understand what a rollover is and that we can release that bat as hard as we want because it has nothing to do with an actual rollover, or what the common term for a rollover is, where we get out in front and hit the top part of the ball. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are out there like, well, I've seen this. I've seen guys roll over and their wrists are rolling over. Well, what's actually happening here? What's actually happening is this rollover happens, again, when we get out in front. And what happens when we get out in front, the head of the bat gets out in front. And because there's a lot of speed in the end of the bat, that's what causes the hands to start to roll over. Something has to alleviate that speed, and that's when those hands roll over. Now, if we're releasing the bat correctly, we can control this and get a lot more speed, but you'll usually see a rollover where somebody gets out in front, and you'll see this motion where they'll be rolling over, and this is where everyone thinks that when those wrists roll over, that's when we're going to get a rollover. Well, that's, again, if we look at the variables, they are out in front, and they are hitting the top part of the ball. If they were out in front and they hit the optimal contact point on the ball, which is just below the equator of the ball, they would hit a line drive. They'd hit a hard shot depending on where they hit it on the bat. If they're hitting off the sweet spot, they would hit it hard. I'm sure, again, a lot of you guys who have seen this same swing, and I've seen it a lot myself, where players will get out in front of a curveball, release it, and hit the ball out of the ballpark on the same looking swing of a rollover, but it's because they are releasing that bat and they didn't hit the top part of the ball, they hit the middle part or just below the middle and hit it really hard. Now, I can say these things all day and tell you the facts of what happens with the rollover, but I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are asking, how can you prove this? Well, let's go ahead and put it to the test. So what we're going to do, just like we did in the intro video, is I'm going to set this ball up in different positions, and I'm just going to roll my wrist over as hard as I possibly can. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and I'm going to set up here. I'll show you one from face on what exactly I'm going to do. I'm just going to get here, and I'm going to roll my hands over. My goal here for this video is not to allow my hands to pass my body, to keep my hands in front of my body the whole time so that you guys at home can see that I am severely turning over these wrists. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to start off with an outside pitch. So this pitch is going to be a little bit deeper in my stance. Contact, because this ball's further away from me, it's going to be a little bit further out. I'm going to start off with an outside pitch here. And obviously this is going to be a lot harder to roll over because I'm not out in front of it. So right here, I'm going to get set, and I'm rolling over my wrist. You can see my hands didn't get past my body. My wrists are completely rolled over. Now, just real quick, guys, I'm not saying this is how we want to swing the bat. This is just purely for demonstration purposes. When we release the bat, we want to have a nice gradual release where we release the head of the bat with our wrist unhinging and rolling over nice and smoothly. Just for purposes here, just to prove that a rollover has nothing to do with the wrist, I'm going to overdo this. So let's go ahead and we're going to go to a down the middle pitch. This pitch is going to be even a little bit further up in my stance. We're going to do that same thing. I'm going to roll these wrists right on over. Okay, again, you can see there, still quite a bit of speed, but my hands have not passed my body. We have not gotten to a full swing. I'm literally rolling my hands over as hard as I can right there. Let's go ahead and we're going to go for an inside pitch even further up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be backing this up further and further away just so that we can prove that the rollover has nothing to do with the wrist and everything to do with contact. So right here again, okay, there, got my hands probably about in line with my torso, just roll it over, got another line drive. So you guys are starting to see a pattern here that I'm rolling my wrist over. I'm even going to get off the mat here a little bit, set up for a really hard inside pitch. Now, obviously this ball is way further out in front of me, so I'm going to hit it on my pull side, but because I'm going to hit the center of the ball, this won't be a rollover. Okay, there, nice line drive, hands right in front of my body, all the way rolled over. Okay, guys, so you just saw it right there. I went from the deepest pitch I would hit it to probably the most in front of the pitch I would hit, very, very severe inside pitch, rolling over every step of the way as hard as I possibly could, and we got everything from an opposite field hit to a pull side down the line, all rolling those wrists over. So when you guys at home are out there working on your release, like we talk about in the how to release videos, where we want to unhinge those wrists and roll over, now you can have a little bit more freedom knowing that rolling those hands over does not mean you're going to roll over the ball. It means you're going to get more speed because you're not going to be scared of rolling over your wrist, and you can just go ahead and let it rip. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I got an even better bonus coming up for you. Every great hitter builds a nice tight bat lag position in their transition. If you're looking to do that and to get immediate feedback today, I highly recommend you check out the bonus video at the end of this. We're going to play a preview of it. You can check out that whole video by clicking on the iCard in the top left-hand portion of your screen or in the description below. Thanks again for watching, guys. Good luck with your games, good luck with your swings, and we'll see you guys soon. Today, I'm going to show you the #1 move that kills bat lag. But most importantly, we're going to do a drill that will instantly give you a tight transition into bat lag and have your swing looking drastically better today. The move that I'm talking about here is when we're going into our transition and the bat lays down, and now the only thing that we have to rely on for bat speed is our pure strength. From Mike Trout, he does this really, really well. You'll see as we pause him here in the max bat lag position, his barrel is really high and you can see that it's barely dipping into that line. You can imagine if this was a nail and this bat was a hammer, if I was trying to hammer this nail in like this would be kind of like me dumping the bat. But if I'm letting this hammer swing and slam into this ball over and over again, I'm going to be very, very efficient. Now, I'm sure you guys are ready for it by now. Let's go ahead and dive into the wall drill. All right, guys, here we go, the wall drill.